Everyone thinks the San Francisco 49ers are gonna suck this season, but don't you worry, 49er fans, because I do too. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. This is the MJ Take here on Sports Fan Entertainment. It's time for the San Francisco 49ers 2016 NFL season preview. I'm sure the 49er fans have already gone down. They've disliked the video, they've commented their hate comment, and that is fine. But look, we need to have a serious and honest conversation today. We're going to go through the roster. We're going to look at your strengths, your weaknesses. We're going to look at your schedule. We're going to try to come up with a good prediction. But man, I'm sorry. I just don't have much faith at all in this 49ers team. Not only this season, but in the future, to be quite honest with you. But let's get into it. If you haven't disliked yet, just wait, please. And then you can comment down below whatever you want to comment. But at least wait to hear what I have to say. Now, there are some strengths to this football team. There's like one, but hey, it's a strength. And I think it's the defensive line, potentially. You know, it's not even a strength yet, but it has a potential to be. All right, we have Eric Armstead, who played his rookie season, didn't play much, but early on, but later on he played more, played pretty good, graded out well on Pro Football Focus. Young rookie last season, can even improve his sophomore season, be better. This is going to be a defense that he's familiar with. You know, playing with Chip Kelly, a guy that he got to play with him with Chip Kelly for 1, maybe 2 years at best, but I think it was only 1. So that'll be a nice familiarity aspect of it, so I like that. Ian Williams at nose tackle. I like that. Now, I'm hearing some things about whether or not he could have some injury problems right now, but assuming he's healthy, he's definitely a good nose tackle to have. You drafted DeForest Buckner, and assuming that he can be a good player, and I think he will be, this could actually be a really good strength for this 49er team. The defensive line will really shape out. You'd have Eric Armstead on one side, you have Ian Williams in the middle, DeForest Buckner on one side, and you have a pretty formidable defensive line there. So I like that. Okay, that's the only strength on this football team. That's it. That's the only one. I'm sorry. There is literally no other strength on this football team. And if you're telling yourself that there is, you're out of your mind, you're drunk, you're crazy, you're high. Please go enjoy the drugs that you're doing with Josh Gordon and DeMarcus Lawrence and the whole Cowboys defensive line, because, man, they love to do what you're doing. Let's talk about the weaknesses, because there are plenty of them. Let's start with the quarterback position. It stinks. Blaine Gabbert. Now, you know, the guy was better last season than he's ever been, but he's still, pretty much the worst in the league. I mean, there's not many quarterbacks in the league that are better than him. Just saying that, well, he had more touchdowns than interceptions, who cares? You don't realize in 2015, I think out of the 32 starting quarterbacks, 29 of them had more touchdowns than interceptions, maybe even 30. The only ones that didn't were Peyton Manning and Nick Foles. Andrew Luck sucked. He had more touchdowns than interceptions. Sam Bradford sucked. He had more touchdowns than interceptions. Brian Hoyer, he had more touchdowns. Josh McCown, he had more. Having more touchdowns than interceptions doesn't mean anything. Having a passer rating over 70 doesn't mean anything anymore. But even over 80, if it's 80, anywhere from 80 to 85, that's below average nowadays. So don't look at these stats and say they're good. Look at them compared to everyone else. And compared to everyone else, they still weren't very good. So although Blaine Gabbert wasn't just awful, compared to everyone else, he was still very much below average. It's definitely a position of weakness. However, I do believe under this Chip Kelly offense, you can see him have success because it will allow him to use his mobility to move around a bit and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he's still not a very good quarterback. Now, Nick Foles wasn't either. Nick Foles had, 27 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. I'm not saying we're going to see that type of production, but it wouldn't surprise me if Blaine Gabbert had, let's say 25 to 10. That wouldn't surprise me, but still, I wouldn't have much faith in him, and neither should you. Halfback right now, you have Carlos Hyde. Okay, now he's okay. But I can't really label that as a strength. I guess you could. If you want to, that's fine. He really hasn't played a full season yet. He only had 405 yards last year because he got injured. I need to see him play a full season, but if he does, assuming he plays 16 games, yes, he should have over 1,100 yards. I need to see it first to believe that. So I'm not going to just say, oh, look at Carlos Hyde, he's so good. Has he played a full season? Has he had a season where he's gotten more than 450 yards? No. So until he does, I have to be a little nonchalant when it comes to him. Wide receivers. I think the worst wide receiving core in the NFL. You have Torrey Smith, who's nothing more than a deep ball threat and a comeback guy. I mean, he'll run some 9s and some 3s, but that's pretty much all he's running out there. Can't expect much from Torrey Smith. If you ask him to run a slant and a cornerback is physical with him, he ain't gonna catch it, so forget about that. Quentin Patton. I went to the same high school as the guy. I like the guy. Guy isn't very good in terms of the NFL level. He's a number 4 or number 5 wide receiver for Green Bay or for maybe even Tennessee, to be honest with you. Not a very good wide receiver at the NFL level. We have tight ends. Okay, Vance McDonald has some nice potential, but still really needs to become a better blocker, more consistent catcher of the football. You have one of the Sellecks, I believe Garrett Selleck behind him. I think Garrett Selleck is better right now than Vance McDonald, but Vance McDonald has the upside. Offensive line stinks. The guys were letting Colin Kaepernick and Blaine Gabbert get sacked almost every single week last season. You drafted Joshua Garnett, but you haven't signed him yet. I'm sure, by the time the season starts, you will, but you haven't signed him yet. He should start at one of the guard positions. Let's say right guard. Zane Beadles at left guard. Zane Beadles isn't very good. Daniel Kilgore at center. Not very good. Eric Pierce stinks. Oh my God, he's awful. Stop holding, bro. Joe Staley. Okay, he's great. He's great, but 1 out of the 5 positions, and then maybe if Joshua Garnett can be good, then 2 out of the 5, not very good, not very promising for your football team. Let's move on to the defense. Cornerbacks, one of the better positions on this roster. Jimmy Ward, pretty good player right now. Tremaine Brock, yeah, still pretty good. Love those guys. After that, not much depth. Now, you drafted a couple guys. You drafted Will Redmond, who I liked out of Mississippi State. Rashad Robinson, who I really don't like out of LSU. Will Redmond should end up starting, or maybe not starting, but at least being a slot corner. So the cornerback position could be decent enough to hold off some of these teams before they score 50 on you. The linebackers, Navarro Bowman, kind of disappointing in coverage last season. In fact, really disappointing. Run defense, still great. I mean, the guy's still a great run defender. The guy knows how to bottle up the run game. Coverage, yeesh. Not a good coverage linebacker right now. Navarro Bowman really needs to step up that part of his game. He's really missing Patrick Willis right next to him doing a lot of that work. Gerald Hodges, not a very good linebacker. Eli Harold, outside linebacker. He was a rookie last year, so I'll give him some credit, but kind of disappointing last year for me. We'll see if he can step it up. Aaron Lynch. I really like this player, but suspended for the first 4 games of the season. Ouch. And I'm not sure how much that's going to fly with Chip Kelly. We'll see whether or not he forgives him for that. But, when he's healthy and when he's playing, he's a pretty good player. Safety is Antoine Bethea, getting old and not be very good at to begin with. So that's a problem there. I thought his play really diminished in 2015. Maybe he can bring it back in 2016, but don't love that. And you have Eric Reed, who's pretty good. So there are some pretty good players sputtered around, but not positional groups where you can say this positional group is good, that positional group is good. So, but here's the problem. Okay, there are players, right? Eric Ward's a player, or Jimmy Ward's a player. Eric Reed's a player. Tremaine Brock's a player. Yeah, Eric Armstead, Ian Williams, Navarro Bowman, DeForest Buckner, presumably. There are players, okay? But there's a lot of bad players and a lot of below-average starters. You have your Eric Pierce and your Daniel Kilgores and your Blaine Gabberts and your Torrey Smiths and your Garrett Sellecks and your Vance McDonalds that you're relying upon on a week-to-week basis, and I just can't get behind that. And I can't love that. And when you compare your rosters to other rosters, you cannot tell me that you have much faith at all in your ability to beat these football teams. Let's get into the schedule. So luckily for you, you guys get to open up hosting Los Angeles, the LA Rams. I think you're going to win this game. If you don't, you're in big trouble. Because literally, I think this is the only game that you will be favorited, or you won't even be favored to win this game probably, but to me, you'll be the favorite to win. There is not one other game on the schedule in which, to me, you are the favorite to win. There is not one other game on the schedule. So you guys go up against the NFC South. There is no way in hell you will be better than any of the teams in the NFC South. There's no way. Because the Falcons are probably going to be the worst team. And boy, do they have a lot more talent than you. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. I mean, the list goes on and on. They're a better team than you, my friends. We get that. All right, so the NFC South, maybe you can upset the Bucks or the Saints, maybe. But man, that's too much for me to say. You guys go up against the AFC East. I could see some upsets here. But again, they'd have to be upsets. You'd have to go to Buffalo and upset them. Don't love that. Go to Miami, upset them. Don't love that. So the two worst teams in the AFC East, the Bills and the Dolphins, that you could potentially upset, you have to go to them. And I don't love those upset odds. If you're going to beat somebody, you're probably going to have to beat them in San Francisco, in Santa Clara. So don't love that. You host the Patriots and host the Jets. These are the better teams out of the AFC East. So they're probably going to beat you in your own house. That's very unfortunate in terms of the schedule. You guys also go up against the... you guys are also in the NFC West. That's the division you were in. I think you guys are going to beat LA. I think you're actually going to beat LA week 1, but they're going to get you back week 16. Okay, fine. Then you guys have to go up against everyone else, and I don't see you guys winning a game against Seattle or Arizona. I think that's just not happening. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe you can play Seattle close because for some reason Seattle loves to play up to whoever they're playing. They love to play up or down to whoever they're playing. I don't know why they do this, but they do this. They continue to do this. They always do this. I don't know why. So maybe you can play them close one game, but don't love the chances there. You guys also go up against the last place teams. The last place teams in each division that you didn't get to face. So that'd be the Dallas Cowboys, who are very good. I mean, maybe not very good, but they're decent at least. You guys also have to go up against the NFC North winner. Where are you? Oh, the Chicago Bears, who finished 4th in their division. So they're pretty good too, and you have to face them in Chicago. I think Chicago is going to be a playoff team this year, to be quite honest with you. I mean, they have a lot more talent than you. Alshon Jeffrey, Kevin White, even Jay Cutler's a better quarterback than yours. They have a better offensive line. They have a better defense. Pernell McPhee. I mean, come on, guys. So, look, let's talk about records because that's what you guys really want to know. I mean, I see some of you guys saying 6-10. I don't know where the 6 wins are coming from. Y'all got to tell me. I mean, y'all got to tell me where the 6 wins are coming from, dog, because I want to have that conversation with you. Last year, let's see who you beat last year. I know you guys for a fact beat Minnesota week 1. That was a big upset, and I actually had that upset. From there, I know you guys also beat Baltimore, but they were, worse than they'd ever be. Okay, you guys beat the Falcons, the Bears in Chicago. Okay, and then you also beat the St. Louis Rams. So, okay, like I said, you guys can beat the LA Rams week 1. I have that. You face at Chicago again. Can you beat them again? This was an overtime win. I don't see it. I think Chicago is going to be better than you're going to be better this year. The Falcons, you beat them in San Francisco, but I think they're going to be better than they were last year, while you won't be. So I don't love it. Best case scenario to me. Okay, the best case scenario to me, you guys are a scrappy football team. You get close to some teams. Your defensive line is great. These DeForest Buckners and Eric Armstead, they really become great NFL players. You get some scrappy wins. The Chip Kelly offense throws everyone for a loop, and you go 5-11. And that's possible. I'll give you that. I think it's possible. You repeat last year's performance, fine. It's possible. Worst case scenario, it could get bad. And I mean, it could get really, really bad. It could get 1-15 bad. It could get pretty bad. My prediction, 2-14. And I'm sorry, it hurts. But trust me, I've been there before. Okay, I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. We've been horrible for the past 2 seasons. And I know what you're saying. We have Ian Williams and we have, Eric Armstead, and we drafted DeForest Buckner, and they're good players. But let me tell you, we went 2-14, right? We had Jarrell Casey. We had Jason McCourty. We had Michael Griffin. We had these good players. We had Kendall Wright. We went 7-9 the year before. You know, we didn't lose. All we lost was Chris Johnson and Jake Locker. That's all we lost. We're going to be a good team. That's what I said too. And then we went 2-14. And then in 2014, I said, we have Marcus Mariota now. Delaney Walker's a Pro Bowl tight end. We drafted Dorial Green Beckham. We still have Jarrell Casey. We have Avery Williamson, who's playing better. We have Jason McCourty. We have this person. We signed Parrish Cox in free agency. And we went 3-13. Because even though you may have 6 or 7 good players, they still can't offset the other 15 bad or below average players. And I'm here to tell you, because I've been through it, that it's going to be tough and it's going to be hard. But it's time to face the facts. The San Francisco 49ers just aren't going to be very good this season. And not very good for seasons to come, because I think you guys have a long way to go. There's plenty of positions that need to be remodeled, that need to be teared down, absolutely teared down and rebuilt. I'm talking quarterback, wide receiver, safety, middle linebackers, hell, outside linebackers. They need to be teared down. They need to absolutely be teared down. Offensive line, tear down. Joe Staley's getting old. NaVorro Bowman's getting old. These are some of your best players. They're getting old. Tear down and then build back up is going to take years. It's not going to be under Chip Kelly. So draft your Deshaun Watson or your Leonard Fournette or your Myles Garrett and be happy with that, because, man, things ain't going to happen this year for the 49ers. And I know, because I've been there before. It'll be long. It won't be fun. But that's just the way things are going to go this season, guys. I'm sorry. So, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And even if you hated the video, just comment. Tell me why you disagree. I'm sure you do. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But hey, you know, at the end of the day, you were entertained. I was entertained talking about how bad your team is. So hey, we had fun today, and that's the most important thing. So remember, every single day, 7 p.m. Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, there will be a new team uploaded on this channel. Next, I believe, is the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it'll be down in the description box below. And I also have some statistical projections for this 49er team in the description box below. So look at those if you really want to bear witness to that, because it ain't going to be pretty. So with that said, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.